Dry fasting versus water fasting. Which one really wins? It's Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock. You're sitting at the table with your partner, and you both decide to embark on a 48-hour fast. But here's the thing, you have different opinions. Your partner chooses dry fasting, not a drop of water, not a bite of food. And you lean towards water fasting, a fast, but with water as much as you want. Two people, two methods, two radically different experiences. And the burning question, who will get the best results? Hello everyone. Today we're diving into this debate that's causing quite a stir in the fasting world. Dry fasting versus water fasting. Some claim that dry fasting amplifies the benefits: accelerated fat loss, boosted autophagy, maximum detox. Others emphasize the caution and limits of this practice. So, who is right? What are the real effects inside your body? And most importantly, which of these fasts is truly the most effective and the safest? In this video, we'll dissect phase by phase what happens in your body during a dry fast and during a water fast. And by the end, you'll clearly know which of these two methods truly holds up, according to what science and experience tell us. If this type of content speaks to you, consider leaving a like, a boost, and subscribing to not miss anything. Let's get started. So, let's watch your partner during their fast. What really happens in their body when they don't drink a single drop of water? You'll see, not having water changes a lot of things. We're no longer talking about a simple fast. We're entering a controlled water shortage, which the body handles with very special methods. Phase 1, 0 to 12 hours. The body turns off the taps. In a water fast, the body can get water from outside. Here, in a dry fast, it only has one choice: save water. And the first thing it does is this: your kidneys immediately make less pee. The body tries to hold on to as much water as possible. This is a specific hormone reaction. The antidiuretic hormone, ADH, shoots up, telling the kidneys, stop wasting water. Your breathing gets a little slower. Because every breath out makes you lose water as vapor. The body even changes how you breathe to lose less water. Your mouth gets dry faster than in a water fast. The body stops making spit to avoid wasting precious water. This is already a huge difference. The body doesn't react like it does to a normal fast. It goes into water-saving mode, a trick desert animals use, but we have it too. What's amazing is that it won't just save water, it will also have to make some. Let's see how. Phase 2, 12 to 24 hours. The body makes its own water. Here's one of the most amazing things about dry fasting. When there's no water coming in from outside, your body starts to make its own water inside. We call this metabolic water. To keep going, your body starts burning fat faster than it would during a water fast. That's because only fat can give you both water and energy. Muscles, though, don't make much water at all. Here's how it works. When your body breaks down 100 grams of fat, that chemical reaction makes about 110 grams of water plus carbon dioxide and energy. It's just basic chemistry. Fat plus oxygen, energy plus water, plus CO2. This is exactly what a camel does in the desert. Its hump doesn't hold water, like many people think. Instead, it's full of fat that the camel slowly turns into water and energy to cross the desert. And this is where a big difference shows up. Burning fat becomes a must-do, not just one way to get energy. That's why some people say dry fasting has a faster effect. It's not magic, it's just how it works. When your body runs out of water, it mainly goes for the only thing that can make it: fat. Metabolic water helps, but the body is still getting more and more stressed from not having enough water. Your cells start to react, and that's when things get really interesting. Phase 3, 24 to 48 hours. Water stress changes how your cells work. This is where dry fasting really stands out from water fasting. Your cells start to shrink. Without water, your cells lose their volume. They become denser, more packed. This kicks off certain cell protection systems, which we've seen in studies on mild dehydration. This can activate cell repair pathways, stress sensors that trigger adaptive responses, and enzymes that protect your DNA from damage caused by oxidation. It's not some miracle cure often talked about in online videos, but a real change in cell behavior that's been proven in labs. Autophagy might even increase in certain areas. Some lab observations, mostly on animals like C. elegans worms and mice, show that controlled water stress makes cells recycle their parts faster to stay balanced, even with less water. The idea is this: less water means more pressure on the cell, which means more internal cleaning is needed to survive. This isn't solid proof for humans yet, but it's a good guess based on how bodies adapt to stress. Your blood gets thicker. Unlike water fasting, here's what happens. Your blood volume slowly goes down. Your blood becomes thicker, more syrupy. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium become more concentrated. Your hematocrit, that's the percentage of red blood cells in your blood, goes up. This creates a physical stress that water fasting doesn't. This is a huge difference that affects your whole heart and blood system. Your heart and kidneys work differently. Your heart has to pump thicker blood, which is harder to move around. That takes more effort, and it puts a little more strain on your heart. Your kidneys filter out toxins with very little water. They make your pee as concentrated as possible. It becomes very dark, almost amber. This is really hard work for these organs. The risk of kidney overload goes up if you're not perfectly healthy. This is something that absolutely doesn't happen with water fasting. What people who do this often report. On the good side, better mental clarity, probably because of the ketones your body makes and that controlled stress. A feeling of inner warmth. Your body makes more heat to burn fat. Feeling lighter physically, less water weight in your body. Less puffiness, makes sense, less water between your cells. But also some warning signs: very dry mouth, a pasty tongue, very concentrated, dark, smelly pee. You get tired faster than with water fasting. Blood pressure can drop more significantly. Slight headaches in some cases. Your body clearly signals, I'm holding on, but don't push me too far. The real question about dry fasting. At this point, one question always comes up. Is the water your body makes really enough to make up for not drinking water? This is a key question. And here's a first part of the answer. Your daily minimum water loss is about breathing, 300 to 400 milliliters. Invisible sweating, 500 milliliters. Urine, the least amount you can make, 500 milliliters. Poop, 100 to 200 milliliters. Total, about 1.4 to 1.6 liters per day at least. To make this much water just from metabolic water, you'd have to burn about 1.3 to 1.5 kilograms of pure fat every day. But the most fat your body can burn while fasting is about 200 to 300 grams per day. See the problem? Metabolic water only covers about 20 to 30% of your daily water needs. That's a shortfall. It's a shortfall that a healthy body can handle for 24 to 48 hours. But it's still a shortfall. But before we jump to conclusions, let's see what happens on the other side, in your body, the one that drinks water. Because the differences are really more obvious. Water fasting is really when your body fasts with its best resources. While your partner is doing their dry fast, you, on the other hand, are experiencing something completely different. You're fasting, yes, but you're drinking water whenever you want. And this simple fact changes almost everything about how your body reacts. Let's look phase by phase at what's happening in your body. Phase 1, 0 to 12 hours. The gentle start. Just like your partner, you're using up your liver's glycogen stores. Your body slowly switches from using sugar to using fat. But here's the big difference. Your cells stay perfectly hydrated. Your kidneys? They work normally, filtering waste well without stress. Your mouth? It stays pretty moist. Your spit keeps doing its job. Your energy? It can even stay steady because being hydrated lets all your systems work their best. Getting into ketosis starts slowly, but with water whenever you want, your body keeps its systems in top shape. Let's see what that changes. Phase 2, 12 to 24 hours. Entering ketosis with hydration support. You enter ketosis, just like with dry fasting. Your body starts making ketones from your fat. Your brain, which mostly uses sugar, slowly switches to using these ketones as its main fuel. This is a big change for your body, and water helps it happen much more easily. Why? Because all the chemical reactions in your body happen in water. Studies show that this change comes with several clear benefits. Less insulin in your blood, your pancreas gets a rest, and your body becomes more sensitive to insulin. Cell cleanup, called autophagy, starts up. This process of recycling and cleaning inside your cells gets going. And contrary to what you might think, water doesn't stop it. In fact, your cells need a perfect watery environment to do this cleaning. Less inflammation. Studies measuring C-reactive protein, CRP, and other markers show a big drop during water fasting. After 24 hours, cell cleaning is in full swing. Your body is renewing itself from the inside, and you'll start to feel the good effects. Here's what happens during this phase. Phase 3. 24 to 48 hours and beyond. This is where autophagy and regeneration really come into play. Honestly, this is where things get really fascinating. Autophagy slowly ramps up. After 24 hours of fasting, this process is in full swing. Your cells break down misformed or damaged proteins, faulty mitochondria, the ones that don't produce energy well, accumulated cellular debris, and even some intracellular bacteria. It's a real spring cleaning at the cellular level. And all of this isn't just theories. It's documented in hundreds of scientific studies. Lasting weight loss. And here, we're not just talking about water, but real fat. Significant reduction in insulin resistance, lower blood pressure in people with high blood pressure, improved lipid profile, cholesterol, triglycerides, measurable reduction in chronic inflammation, and even a potential anti-aging effect through the activation of sirtuins and other longevity genes. And here's the crucial point. All of this happens with optimal hydration. Your kidneys filter efficiently. Your heart pumps blood of normal thickness. Your cells are bathed in an ideal watery environment for all their biochemical reactions. You get all the benefits of fasting without putting your body through the extra water stress of dry fasting. So, what are you likely feeling? Mental clarity. Thanks to ketones, stable energy after the initial transition, no thirst or dry mouth, clear or slightly yellow urine, a sign of proper hydration, and a feeling of lightness without the discomfort of dehydration. Of course, you'll feel hungry sometimes, but it's manageable, and water really helps to lessen that feeling. The question that comes up now, you and your partner, after 48 hours, you compare your experiences. Your partner might have lost maybe a pound more than you on the scale. They feel detoxified, light, with intense mental clarity. You've lost weight too. You feel good, energetic, without the discomfort of extreme thirst. So, after 48 hours, what do we observe? Let's compare the two methods now, side by side, and see what really changes. The direct comparison, the real difference between the two practices. Let's start with the similarities, what both do the same way. Ketosis activation. Both methods get you into ketosis. Autophagy triggering. Both activate this cell cleaning process, inflammation reduction. Both reduce inflammatory markers. Improved insulin sensitivity. Both improve insulin response. Activation of longevity genes. Both stimulate genetic pathways linked to longevity. Ketone body production. Both produce these energy molecules for the brain fat burning. Both use your fat stores as fuel. See the main point? Most of the benefits people look for when fasting are achieved in both cases. The key difference is what really changes. Now, let's look at what really differs between the two methods. 1. The speed of autophagy. Myth or reality. This is the main argument of dry fasting supporters. Autophagy is 3 times faster with dry fasting. Where does this number come from? There are a few studies on very simple organisms. C. elegans worms, Drosophila flies, showing that dehydration stress can speed up some autophagy markers. But, and this is super important, These organisms have body systems that are totally different from ours. A 1 mm worm doesn't have kidneys, a complex cardiovascular system, or fancy water regulation. Taking these results and saying they apply to humans is just guessing. What's the scientific truth for humans? We don't have good studies that directly compare autophagy, using tissue samples and markers like LC32P62, between dry fasting and water fasting in humans. It just doesn't exist. That's a fact. What we can say is that autophagy definitely kicks in for both. But to say it's 3 times faster in dry fasting for humans, that's a claim without proof. 2. Metabolic water. Enough or not enough? We've talked about this before, but it's so important that we need to say it again. Metabolic water only covers about 20 to 30% of your needs, not 100%. What does that mean in plain English? It means that with dry fasting, you're slowly getting more and more dehydrated. That's a fact about how your body works, not just an opinion. 3. Physiological stress. Helpful or too much? Dry fasting puts your body under more stress than water fasting. More cortisol, more adrenaline, more strain on your heart and kidneys. Is that good or bad? It depends on something called hormesis. A little bit of stress for a short time can make your body adapt in good ways, but too much stress or stress for too long becomes harmful. So the question is, where's the line between helpful stress and harmful stress? It changes a lot depending on your age, your health, how well your kidneys and heart work, how long you fast, your surroundings, like temperature and humidity, how active you are. For a perfectly healthy person, a 24-hour dry fast in ideal conditions is okay. For someone with kidney problems, or a 72-hour dry fast, or in the middle of summer, you might be crossing the line into harmful stress. 4. Organ performance, top-notch versus struggling. Here's a difference we can't deny. With water fasting, your kidneys filter well with enough water. Your liver cleanses under the best conditions. Your lymphatic system drains normally. Your blood flows with normal thickness. Your heart works under normal conditions. With dry fasting, your kidneys work in survival mode, making your pee as concentrated as possible. Your liver works with less water for its processes. Your lymphatic system slows down. Your blood is thicker, harder to pump. Your heart has to work harder. This isn't necessarily bad for 24 hours, but it's definitely extra stress. 5. Weight loss, fat or water. Your partner lost 4 pounds in 48 hours of dry fasting. You lost 2 pounds with water fasting. Is that a win for dry fasting? Not so fast. Let's break down what that weight loss really means. With dry fasting, about 2 to 3 pounds of water lost, dehydration, about 0.8 to 1.2 pounds of actual fat burned, a little bit of muscle mass. With water fasting, about 0.4 to 0.6 pounds of water, from glycogen and linked water. About 0.8 to 1.2 pounds of actual fat burned, a little bit of muscle mass. The actual fat burning? Pretty much the same. The difference on the scale? That's mostly water, and it'll come right back once your partner rehydrates. If your goal is long-lasting fat loss, water fasting is just as good, without the dehydration stress. We can guess all we want, but what does science really say? That's what we're going to find out next. What does science really say? Now, let's talk openly about the big thing in the room, the scientific proof. Here's what research truly tells us. For water fasting, we have decades of research. Water fasting is one of the most studied body changes in the world. Some real examples. A study from 2019, published in Cell Metabolism, showed that a 5-day water fast led to a clear renewal of the immune system in human participants. A 2016 study in the Journal of Nutrition found big improvements in heart health markers, blood pressure, cholesterol, after longer water fasts. A big review from 2021 confirms the benefits of intermittent water fasting for weight loss, body health, and signs of swelling. Research on autophagy, especially by Yoshinori Osumi, Nobel Prize winner in 2016, confirmed that this process is turned on by water fasting. Honestly, we're talking about hundreds of studies, thousands of people, clear rules and results that can be repeated. For dry fasting, it's a different story. A troubling lack of scientific proof. Strict studies on dry fasting in humans are extremely rare. Why is there this scientific gap? First, there are moral concerns. Ethics committees are very hesitant to approve plans that willingly keep people from water given the possible dangers. Then, there are problems with controlling things. How can you be sure that people really don't drink anything? How do you handle possible medical emergencies? And then, the legal risks for researchers. If someone gets sudden kidney failure or another serious problem, the responsibility is huge. The few studies that exist? They mainly focus on Ramadan, a daily dry fast of 12 to 16 hours for a month. What do they show? Mixed results. Some studies show improvements in certain body markers, insulin, fat levels. Others show chemical imbalances, especially in older or weaker people. Several studies report an increase in cell damage in some cases. Few big differences compared to intermittent water fasting for the same lengths of time. But be careful, Ramadan is a maximum of 16 hours, not 48 or 72 hours. Studies on longer dry fasts, 48 hours or more, in humans. They barely exist in scientific writings. The idea, no proof, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's true. A lack of studies doesn't prove there are no benefits. But, and this is key when talking about health and possibly risky practices, the careful approach is a must. If you have Method A, water fasting, with hundreds of studies proving it works, safe and clear rules, documented benefits, and Method B, dry fasting, with almost no strict studies, well-known possible risks, dehydration, kidney stress, unproven extra benefits. The smart choice is clear. The argument of tradition. But it's been done for thousands of years in different cultures. That's true. And it's an argument worth thinking about. Old practices often have wisdom that modern science is rediscovering. Intermittent fasting is a perfect example of this. But, and this is important, how old a practice is doesn't automatically mean it works or is safe by today's standards. Our ancestors also drilled holes in heads to cure headaches, bled people to balance humors, or used mercury as medicine. What would be truly convincing are modern controlled studies, clearly measuring the benefits and risks of dry fasting compared to water fasting. For now, we don't have them. After looking at how things work in the studies, it's time to answer the question you're all asking. Who really wins? So, which one really wins? We're finally at the moment of truth. You and your partner have finished your 48-hour fast. You look at each other. You compare your experiences. Your partner had an intense, almost spiritual experience. They feel purified, light, with a special mental clarity. They lost 2 pounds on the scale. You, on the other hand, had a more comfortable fast. You feel good, energetic, without the discomfort of extreme thirst. You lost 1 pound. So, who really won? If you're looking for the metabolic benefits of fasting, autophagy, ketosis, insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, a scientifically documented approach with hundreds of studies, an established safety profile in medical protocols, a sustainable long-term practice, real and lasting fat loss, benefits without excessive risks. Water fasting wins hands down. It gives you 90 to 95% of the benefits of fasting with a fraction of the risks. If you're looking for an intense and demanding spiritual experience, an ancient traditional practice with a religious dimension, an extreme personal challenge to test your limits, dry fasting has its place, but only for very short periods, less than 24 hours, and under perfectly controlled conditions. My nuanced position. Dry fasting isn't inherently bad or dangerous in all cases. A dry fast of 16 to 24 hours maximum, practiced occasionally by a person in excellent health, in a cool environment, without physical activity, with optimal hydration 24 hours before and after. That's probably tolerable, and maybe even beneficial for some. But, and listen closely, do the hypothetical additional benefits justify the real additional risks? For the vast majority of people, no. What the data truly shows us is that the fundamental mechanisms of fasting, autophagy, ketosis, reduced inflammation, metabolic improvement, cell regeneration, happen with or without water. Water does not block these processes. It simply allows your organs to function optimally while they occur. Imagine two runners running a marathon. The first one drinks water at the aid stations. The second one refuses all water to maximize adaptation and force their body to become more efficient. Both might finish the marathon, but which one will be in better shape afterward? Which one can start again faster? Which one minimizes the risk of lasting damage? Which one truly optimized their performance? It's the exact same logic with fasting. You don't need to dehydrate yourself to get the beneficial metabolic adaptations of fasting. The final verdict, dry fasting versus water fasting. Water fasting clearly wins on criteria of safety, proven effectiveness, and benefit to risk ratio. Dry fasting can have its place in very specific contexts, spiritual, cultural, religious, but it should never be considered superior to water fasting from a purely metabolic and health perspective. My final message? Fasting can be an extraordinarily powerful tool for your health. Decades of research confirm this without ambiguity. But there's no need to go to extremes to benefit from it. Water fasting, intermittent fasting, a healthy and balanced diet the rest of the time. That's already incredibly powerful. Why take additional risks for hypothetical, unproven benefits? True wisdom isn't in the extreme, but in balance and an evidence-based approach. Your body is an extraordinary machine capable of remarkable adaptations, but it also has real physiological limits. Respect them. Subscribe if you want more content that breaks down health trends with honesty, nuance, and scientific rigor. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon for a new video.